Hello, everyone. How are y'all doing today? I hope you're doing well. So, I'm crocheting this navy blanket. It's coming out pretty good. It's nice and soft. And I crocheted like a blanket before. It was like a lot smaller of a yarn, but this one's like a lot bigger. So, it's going to be a lot quicker, like getting a blanket rather than me doing it for literal ever. Because I'm not doing like a little yarn making a blanket again. I did one for this other blanket. It's like a rainbow blanket because I wanted like like the coat of many colors that Joseph wears in the Bible. Like that's the idea I had for it, and it came out so freaking good. I wish I had it here. I would show y'all because I would say I'd insert a pic, but I don't. I'm not gonna edit. So today I'm gonna be talking about frenemies. I feel like people like I definitely still see some people talking about frenemies. Like I see edits on TikTok, um, and like people will post like moments like on YouTube. That's really as far as it goes. And I think frenemies with Ethan and Trisha, it's definitely like such a good podcast, and it's something that I don't. We're never gonna get recreated. I think the closest to recreation was the canceled podcast with Brooke and Tana, but I think as far as the dynamic, it's just not going to be recreated. And there's so many things that they actually did that people started talking about in result of the podcast. Like people never did costumes before a podcast before this one. Like, and now I see it all the time. Especially like whenever frenemies like kind of recently had stopped, like it became like such a huge trend. Like I saw everyone on every podcast dressing up. And it's still a thing, definitely, like the cosplay and whatever. But it really made that like a trend. And no one even talks about that, but like that was all because of frenemies. And more specifically Trisha. I mean, Trisha's the one who it would just be a normal Tuesday and she's coming to frenemies dressed up. But yeah, there's so many good things. I don't think anyone ever really talked about SA before. What do you call it? Wait, what are we talking about? Oh, frenemies. I'm like, what is the point of this video? I don't think anyone was really talking about SA in a way that was understandable before frenemies. And I even like my own experiences. Like I really frenemies was like a really eye-opening experience for me in the realm of SA. I was like, oh, okay. Like looking at my own experiences and being like, oh, that probably wasn't the best, thing to happen to me. But in general, there's so many good things that came from this podcast. However, that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about how it was never gonna last. This relationship, it was never supposed to last. And there's very clear reasons for that. So like even just starting off, the only real big thing they were in is just drama with each other. So like she was um like she did her transgender video and he revealed like the amount of money that she made from that. And then they did the Bachelorette and that fell through as well. And she was really upset about the candidates. And then the whole reason they ended up starting the show, um, is because she started dating his brother-in-law, Ethan's brother-in-law, Moses. Well, that was not the whole reason they started the show, but that was one of the first things they talked about. And I forgot that actually their first interaction started just on like a huge drama. It was the Instagram versus reality where he's like, "Oh, like I think his whole premise of the video is like Instagram, it like shows a bunch of people who can be very fake because there's like filters, there's angles, there's Botox, there's whatever, and it sets up like this really bad like beauty expectation, which is I think that's a fair point. However, he was showcasing some of these girls that literally it was like I don't know, they were just existing, and a lot of them were like very open about their surgeries and what they got done. But he, you know, said that they were kind of contributing to that, which I don't think is true. And that's what Trisha would call him out on too. Sorry, I'm just making sure that I'm crocheting right. Um, so that's how you start off the relationship, and that's like a really bad start. Um, and I don't know, I really like thinking in my life, like I don't think I've ever had drama start a relationship. Um, I guess that makes it sounds like something romantic. I just mean like I don't think that's really like a common thing. Like drama is gonna start off your relationship. I think it can happen early on, but I think like starting it is just a really I mean, how are you gonna come back from that? Because you're kind of starting off on something that's not gonna be sustainable. Like you're not starting off with anything about yourself and anything you relate to. It starts off with the drama, you know what I mean? And that's something you could relate to with, but I don't think some bad things that you relate to, they're not going to sustain the relationship or the friendship. And that's just the tea. But basically, that's how it starts off, is it starts off very turbulent. So now they're in the Frenemies studio and they're having fights like every episode. And that's the whole nature of the show is like they're not friends or enemies, they're frenemies. Like they sit, they have drama, they poke at each other, they jab. But in my opinion, I believe like the actual like kind of their just human traits, they collide in a very specific way that it was never going to work out because Ethan's able to push Trisha so far and just not understand that he's pushing these boundaries that it's he can't even see it. Like he's very like unself-aware in that retrospect. Like he doesn't realize he's pushing her so far. And he's also just not that open. Like um he wants to say like everything's on the table or whatever, but like Trisha is the one getting all her laundry aired out. Cuz it's like what do we know literally about Ethan and like anything really happening in his life? Of course there's like just like really wholesome things that he talks about, but like the dark parts, that's all Trisha. Like literally, like she's the one who's talking about everything and like exposing like the darkest parts, and he wants to act like that's on the table as well. And it's just really not. I feel there's like only like a couple instances I feel like he kind of would talk about things like that. But one of their biggest fights was literally Trisha bringing up that point is that um he acts like he's open about these things, but he's not, and he's airing out Trisha's stuff, and also a lot of those things get put on the highlights channel, which she's not even collecting any coin from. So everything's just being aired out on Trisha, but he won't say anything about anything. And he wants to act like he is, but he's just not. And I know it's hard to be open like Trisha, but to not even be able to see that and not have that self-awareness, it was doomed to fail from that. Like, even just that, I think that's a huge thing that you have to be respectful about with each other. And then Trisha, there's probably more I'll say about Ethan, but Trisha, I guess I would say the one thing that I really think would get her in trouble is if she's gonna poke at something for Ethan, she kind of takes it too far. And not even kind of, she really takes it too far. So she'll have an issue with Ethan, for example, he's exposing all these private details about her life. Um Whereas it's not, um it doesn't go both ways. That's the problem. It's fine to do that, but it's really unfair when it feels like Trisha's exposing everything and then he's exposing literally nothing. With peace and love. Literally, I don't like that. I don't like that. And so Trisha will bring up these very specific instances. However, I don't know if it's maybe she doesn't feel like she's being heard. Maybe she feels like she's not able to jab at him hard enough. So she'll really take a low blow. So she'll bring up oh, you're exposing these things about me, which is definitely she's in the right to say that. Um but whenever he's not kind of reciprocating oh, I understand that, or I see where you're coming from. When he kind of brushes her off, that's when she throws these very intense jabs at very intimate aspects of his life. And it almost I guess I didn't even think of this until now, but it's she's trying to expose parts of his life, I think, trying to do that where she's I know I wouldn't have a nanny, that's for sure. Just randomly, because it's that's, something about his private life, so she's probably trying to bring that to light as well, because so much of hers is being brought to light. She's let me bring some of your stuff to light. Or the pill thing. They're arguing about something, that I feel is rightful to talk about or argue about. And then she'll be oh, very flippantly, you never talk about how you did pill once. A pill. You took one pill. You never talk about how you did pills once for a long time. Now did you? So I mean, it's definitely, I think those are probably the worst aspects of both of them. Um in a sense of actually doing harm. I think those are I don't love that. I feel like a lot of people would agree that those are probably the biggest things that they have trouble with. And the thing too, so Dr. Drew comes on. He's this therapist. He's kind of a talk show therapist or whatever. Think Judge Judy, but a doctor, I guess. I don't know. Or I guess Dr. Phil too. He's a big one. I've never heard of Dr. Drew before this. Um but he kind of went hard the second time that he saw Ethan. Um And I agree he was a bit harsh on Ethan when I felt like um he needed to give him a little more slack. However, I feel like a really big thing of like him being there is he's trying to manage um specifically like when Trisha has outbursts, like what he is to do. And I do kind of agree with Dr. Drew in a sense where it's like you're trying to control these outbursts, but you're not actually like trying to help with that. Like you're not actually trying to avoid um the big blow ups. Like they're going to happen. Like he even said like with BPD these things are going to happen. Like but at the same time like I do feel like when Dr. Drew came in that second time and he was talking about that you can do that without like completely dismissing how Ethan was feeling because like the things Trisha did and said were objectively really bad. Whether you agree with her, whether you don't, it's just hard because I think there's just so many faults on both sides, and I hate that like, especially at the time, like the general public, everyone was against Trisha whenever the show ended, and that's not including just H3 fans. That's just literally, I feel like most people who were watching Frenemies. I don't know. I don't. I feel like there's so many things probably that happen behind the scenes that like I don't want to fully like put anything on Ethan. I don't want to fully just defend Trisha because I feel like this was like a super turbulent relationship, and it's hard because it was so loving too. Like you can definitely tell like they have so much um like love and adoration for each other and that's why it went on for so long but it was short lived because the nature of their relationship it was never going to last. Like maybe if they were in the era well no I don't even know what Ethan's doing honestly. I think there's just a lot going on but like I was going to say like maybe if they were like in this era like it would have been better but I don't know. I just some relationship dynamics they're never going to be better. You're just better apart from each other. And that could honestly be the truth about Ethan and Trisha. Maybe one day they'll reconcile. I don't really see it happening. I think it would have to be like reconciliation from like Moses and Ela, who's Ethan's sister. Oh no, Ethan's wife, not sister. That's crazy. But I feel like especially like since Trisha was like dating within the family and like they were so interconnected, I think like revolving a show around that is so chaotic. Like everyone knows like mixing family and business is like insane. Even though they're both, successful in their own rights on YouTube, both Ethan and Trisha. But it's just sad because, especially like being either one of them, like you want these things to last. Like they probably both didn't want to end everything that had gone on. Um But at least I know for me, like when you go through like such an intense friendship, I feel like that's probably the best way to put it. Like just like a very intense friendship, like people you've never been as close with before, and like it's just there's so many bad elements wrapped in it. It's never gonna last. Like it's meant for a season. And Frenemies lasted, I think, 9 months. So it was just meant for that time. And I love going back and rewatching Frenemies. Like I love it so much. Um and again, I know I'm being like probably a bit harsh to Ethan and a bit lax to Trisha. But like the biggest reason for that is because I only see people criticizing Trisha. And I feel like a lot of blame also comes from Ethan. However, one thing that I don't remember and it's not on the top of my mind is kind of the what do you call it? Pretty much what happened after Frenemies, like a lot of that drama. Like I kind of remember like some things. Like I remember Trisha went on Keemstar's podcast and that was like everyone knows, even if you don't know Frenemies, like everyone knows Keemstar is like horrible, literally horrible. Like I have like some of the most niche YouTubers that I watch, and Keemstar's been absolutely horrible to them. Um, and I remember there was like filming why they were there. Like it's just like kind of weird stuff that happened after, which I definitely think is not the best and would be reason to like end a friendship and do it offline. Um but from what I remember and what I saw from like all the Frenemies episodes is like because that's really what like I really that drama happened so long ago, like I don't really remember, but I do remember like at least just like the actual episodes of Frenemies. Their relationship dynamic, it was never gonna last. And I really like correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know how it could ever last. Like I guess you would have to work on it and like work on boundaries and like setting things correctly. But that wasn't gonna happen. They would bring Dr. Drew on. I think they had him on maybe like 3 episodes. Just about. And they would kind of air these things out and I feel like there wouldn't really be super big headway sometimes. I guess Ethan was able to understand Trisha a little better and then Trisha was able to at least get some closure with some things with Ethan. Like he would apologize finally. But otherwise, I don't know. I feel like unless you're applying certain things, like it just it was never meant to work out. Honestly, one of the biggest things I am sad about though from Frenemies is I never got any of the merch. Like I literally wanted to get that tumbler so bad. And I saw that there was one on eBay and I literally was thinking of buying it. It was like $60, $50. But I'm like, it's a freaking tumbler. Like, do I really like care that much about it? Although I did want to bedazzle it, and that would be a super slay. But yeah, no hate to anyone in this. This literally, Frenemies happened so long ago that it's just kind of like we're looking back on it. It's like a time capsule a little bit. And it's something that like was very turbulent and happened so fast that like I feel like no one really talks about it at least too much now. Um and I wanted to talk about it because Frenemies is one of my favorite podcasts. Like I love like it's kind of like a I guess just like an annual or biannual thing. Like I'll like re-listen to it and I love it every single time. Like it brings me right back. And I just there's a lot of reasons why people connected with it. And no one's ever gonna forget that. At least I won't. So yeah, Ethan and Trish, love y'all respectively. I just hope they're doing okay. Like I know Trish is probably doing fine. Ethan, I think he's definitely kind of going through it in his new era, and I don't know. I just want to send y'all love, if anything, and just thank you for the podcast. Like I really do love it. My biggest thing is I wanted to just talk about how like there was no way. I don't think there's any conceivable way this was going to continue beyond the episodes they filmed, 40 episodes, maybe a little longer, but like it was never going to happen. And luckily, I was able to like after Frenemies, like my new favorite podcast was canceled, and I think canceled really filled like a void that like I'd been missing, and like it was a less turbulent relationship, and they were able to go a lot further with it. Um, it was more drama and like outside sources, like why the podcast couldn't continue. But gosh, I love canceled. I'm just glad there's enough episodes on canceled. You could rewatch it literally so many times, and you would never get tired of it because there's so many episodes. There's like 130 episodes. But yeah, that's really all I had to say. And I don't know. Let me know what you think about Frenemies. Do you still re-listen to it? And do you kind of like agree, disagree with what I'm saying? Everything I'm saying is just opinion. It's just stream of consciousness. And yeah, that's going to be it. Well, I hope y'all have a wonderful, awesome, amazing day. And I'll see you on the next one, okay?